Hello, 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 and welcome to my first vlog for the month of June. It is Sunday, the 6th of June, 2021, and it's the 77th anniversary of the D-Day landings in 1944, when a lot of English people who had any waterproof or seaworthy vessel, and they went across to the beaches of Normandy and rescued soldiers. It was a very dramatic and in some ways romantic deed, and I'm very proud of that story. So that's my acknowledgement to the D-Day landings. I have several questions from you all this week that have come in over the last 10 days. So I'll start with the first. Pam Emmon from Baltimore in the USA. From this side of the pond, we hear the BBC is going to be closed down because of an interview that took place 25 years ago. Is this true? First of all, I must say the BBC's reputation has taken a huge whack over the last couple of weeks, but I doubt that it's going to be closed down, as you suggest, Pam. But to give a little history, and I use the term loosely, normally when I'm asked my opinion about things that happened 200 or 300 years ago, I can only go by what I've read. Whereas this is an example of something that I lived through and I understand. So these are my remembrances. Princess Diana and Charles had parted. They were living separate lives, and Princess Diana had collaborated with an author called Andrew Morton to write a biography, and it was very controversial at the time, and it exposed all sorts of things that were going on between her and Charles and the rest of the royal family. So when it came to this Panorama interview done by Martin Bashir, what was revealed in the interview was very little. There was very little that wasn't already revealed in the book. So you then start to ask yourself, what was the point of the interview other than to get ratings or publicity or cachet for the interviewer? Now, the main issue that's come to light is that to secure the interview, Martin Bashir arranged for a number of false bank statements to be available to show Princess Diana's brother, the current Earl Spencer, and to give Earl Spencer the opinion that there would be some interest and, of course, some money, substantial amounts of money, if Diana did this interview. In my opinion, Earl Spencer should have said no, because we all knew that at the time Diana was a very troubled person, very troubled indeed, and I personally, in 1994, my sister died, and she had suffered from some form of distress, shall we say, beforehand. And so it reminded me of that, and that's why, at the time, I didn't actually watch the interview. Firstly, because I thought it was a vulnerable person being taken advantage of, and secondly, it reminded me of my sister. What's now transcribed is that after the interviews, and there was all the hoo-ha, there was some sort of investigation. And 25 years ago, it was established that Martin Bashir had got false bank statements, and that he allowed the graphic designer to be thrown under the bus, and to sort of keep his reputation and to allow him to travel the world and become a very, very wealthy man. Poor graphic designer, you hear me say. But what has subsequently come to light is that about 2 years ago, Martin Bashir was given another job by the BBC, head of religious affairs. Well, all I can say, it doesn't say a lot about a reputation of a person who can allow somebody to be falsely thrown under the bus and then accept a job as head of religious affairs. So, to answer your question, Pam, the BBC, the people in charge are the ones that you have to look on, and what we need to do is encourage the ideas that management now has to take more responsibility for any actions that are taken, and previous managers, it was quite appalling how they dealt with the Bashir thing, and there have been many other examples of this happening at the BBC. But I will say it happens at any organisation. As for the BBC, the institution of the BBC, I believe in absolutely firmly, and especially the World Service. Not many of you might know about the World Service, but everybody across the world can tune into it, and over the years it's got the reputation of truth. And so people feel happy that whatever they hear on the World Service about current affairs, they can rely on. So this Bashir situation has put a dent into that reputation, and I think it's appalling that all he's going to be allowed to do is sort of resign, whereas it's spoilt the reputation of some very hard-working and dedicated people. That's all I will say on that matter. Siobhan Copeland from Liverpool in the UK. COVID lockdown in the UK is supposed to be lifted on the 21st of June. Do you think this is going to happen? Well, today is the 6th of June, and I doubt that it will happen because there's still data that's unknown. But who knows? There may be a reason put forward as to why we can release the restrictions further, or it'll just be smudged like everything else. I must admit, one thing I am very distressed about is we have a traffic-like system in this country relating to those who want to travel abroad. You know, it's either red, which means you can't at all, or it's green and you can. But they've also introduced an amber, which the government is sort of saying, well, we'd rather you didn't go, but if you do go, it's your own decision. Well, I'm sorry, in this sort of situation, it should be a yes or no. It should only be red or green. That's all I'll say on the matter, other than why do you need to go abroad on holiday? It's not absolutely life-threatening if you don't, and I think we should all spend, I hate the phrase, but it makes sense today, a staycation. There's plenty of places in the UK that people can visit and have a wonderful time. You don't absolutely have to have your holiday abroad. Jenny Thornton from Perth in Australia. Your vlogs are tremendous, and I've been following you on the No Name Trivia Show. Thank you very much indeed, Jenny. For those of you who don't know, I've been invited to be a co-host on a radio podcast that is set in Australia. The main host is Joseph McGrail Baitup, and another co-host is Paul Boltwood, and between us we have this wonderful time where it's celebrity guests asking questions and also dealing with a trivia quiz of some sort. It's absolute good fun. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to plug that. You come over as very kind and tolerant person. Thank you very much again, Jenny. But is there anything in particular that you are intolerant of? And now, if I'm not careful, I shall end up in the tower. But there are certain things that I become intolerant of. And I am intolerant of people who don't take responsibility for their own actions. And anything that gives them a reason to absolve themselves of their responsibilities. It's a sort of get-out clause. And of course, some people get very blinkered when true facts are put before them, and sometimes they get upset and they accuse people of being biased or whatever rather than accepting the truth. Well, it's there. I'm not really tolerant of fashion, trends, the new faddy diets, and above all, indoctrination. Fashion, look at me, I'm built like a barrage balloon, and I'm a very odd shape. So to find fashionable clothes, I've never been able to do, but I have found I can mix and match with all sorts of things, and I'm quite happy with what I wear. But I haven't been hooked by the badge. I find it extraordinary, for example, that friends of mine will buy a shirt for £70 because it's got a particular logo on it. But if you have the same shirt without the logo, I could get it down at the market for £10. I see no point in that at all. And of course, the other thing is some religions are an indoctrination. It's designed to bully people and to have power and to control people. And for those who will get upset when I say that, I wish to emphasize I have no problems with people having faith. In fact, I find things very spiritual, and I find planet Earth is my faith. But some religions say, no matter what you do, if you come and confess, I'll just send you off into a corner where you'll recite a poem and count some beads, and then all will be well with you. I have no time with that at all. Likewise, I have no time with any religions that don't allow girls to have any proper I forgot the word I was going to say, but what I'm trying to say is if they fall pregnant, they're not allowed to have an abortion. Contraception, that's the word I was trying to find. Sorry about that. It's been and it's the end of a very long day. Yes, any religion that says you can't have a contraception of some sort is utter and complete nonsense, and I'm quite happy to talk to anyone who disagrees with me on that. What else makes me intolerant? Indecision makes me intolerant. Confusion makes me intolerant. And one of the big things that I am intolerant of, and I let people know, if you're going to do a project and you spend several hours discussing it and establishing what complications might end up in your path and worked out how you may be able to get round them, dig under them, jump over them or whatever, and your final decision is, yes, we're going to do this project. What I am totally intolerant of is then all the way through trying to get this project off the ground, you've got the moaning minis who keep on saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, I can tell you, I'm 60 years old this year, and I've achieved a lot more than people ever said I could. Well, I hope that's I hope that hasn't been too aggressive for you today. And thank you all. Please continue sending in your questions. And by all means, if you want to challenge me, I'm happy to discuss anything with you. And above all, I am very happy to reverse a statement I've said if you have shown me that what I have said is wrong. Well, until the back end of this month, goodbye.